Hi everybody, Mikey here with you, and today we have a beautiful align session. We'll be going through a really nice salutation with long, deep holds. This is going to be very restorative. Take it as deep as you feel you need to today, and it is such a good one to build on all the hard workouts we've got in the rest of the cycle to ensure that we're recovering really well. And every single week I make sure that I've got elements of align, and I think this week's been a really heavy week for training, so I'm going to be doing probably 2 align sessions and back off my strength and fitness just slightly. So we talked earlier about cycling your training. So if you've had 3 hard weeks in a row, might be time to back off. If you've had a light week last week, then this week you go hard. So let's try and aim for every month we have a slightly lighter week, so we can continue the awesome work of not plateauing and continue to get the good work. But here's your opportunity to restore today. No equipment required except for a lovely mat and some bare feet. Let's get into it. Okay, it's beautiful and sunny here, so I'm going to be, hopefully my legs are visible with all the sun streaming in. We're about to go into a new salutation. I'll show you from front on and side on. Now we're going to start with a mountain pose. So we're going to plant our feet nice and strong. We're just going to plant. So I'm drawing my belly button in, and we're holding our hands down to the ground. Now if you're doing this, you might want to start on the edge of your mat facing forward, but I just want you to see the best profile here. So I'm doing nice big deep breaths. My feet are strong, my toes are spread, my muscles are tense in my quads and calves. My shoulders are planted down. Another couple of deep breaths. And then we're going to bring our arms to the side and bring them up over the head and lean back and look at your hands. Now I'm going to go to the side so you can see. So this is where we would be starting. And you'll be leaning back. So this is an overhead reach, and we've got a back bend reaching up. So really focus on the depth of the breath. My legs are strong, my core is nice and stretched. And in a couple of breaths, we're going to go into a forward bend. Bring your arms to the side and then bend at the hips and drop your arms to the ground. Now, I want your head to be tucked under towards your knees. Notice there's a slight bend in my knees. Some of you might have really straight legs, and some of you may be only reaching down to your shins, wherever is comfortable for you. We're going to stay here for a full minute, so I just want you to hang, and you can grip your ankles or your feet or your knees to try and hold yourself closer. Long, slow breaths, making sure that we're bending at the hips, that there's no reaching, that we stick those hips back, and I'm having my head as close as I can to the knees. Got another 25 seconds here. Now if you can, you're going to try and straighten those legs a little bit more. Still holding the head tucked under. Nice deep breaths. This is so good for your digestive system. Okay, so we're going to take the hands out and take your feet back as far as you can. A big, huge step through the arms. See how, and we want the heel below the knee. So that's my goal here. Now, let's drop the back knee because we're going to stay here for a full minute to stretch. And you've got 2 choices. We're going to, you can plant your hands and push the chest up, or you're here and you could be on the knee and just pushing that hip down. So we're here for a full minute, and as we breathe out, drop the hips deeper. So we're here, and we're going to bring our eye line up if your hands are on the floor. You could also have a couple of books or a box there if it's too far away. Nice deep breaths, and planting here is your other option. So from this high lunge, we're going to go into a plank position. Another 10 seconds. These long holds really open up the muscles. And let's come into the plank position. So you're going to bring your leg up nice and straight, tuck the other leg under, plant your hands directly below your shoulders, spread your fingers really wide. So now let's push our heels back. So there's tension, so if we're here, we're going to push those heels back. I'm going to draw the core nice and strong and bring the eye line just into the front of your mat. We're going to stay here just breathing. If this is too hard for you, be on your knees. Otherwise we're here. Really pushing my heels back to get a stretch in those calves. We're about to go into caterpillar pose. So we're going to drop to the knees. And what you're going to do from here is aim for your chin. Making sure my hands are below and quite close to my body, below my shoulders. Bring your chin towards the ground. We're going to stay here. Now we're going to take a breath in. And then slide your chest through. And draw the shoulder blades in. My toes are now flat to the ground. We're going to stay here and just breathe. As I breathe out, my belly button draws in, so my tummy's not pushing too hard into the ground. And now I'm going to take my hands out in front of me and go into Cobra. Now you may be here for Cobra, or you may be right up under your body. Just go to the place where it's comfortable for your back. So I'm going to be about here. And my hips are still planted into the ground. And from here, we're going to go into downward facing dog. A couple more breaths. Notice my elbows are fully extended. And we're going to come up onto the knees, tuck the toes under, and plant those hands nice and wide. Look at those knees. Now we're trying to push our bottom to the air as high as we can. I'm looking at my knees. So for me, I creep my hands in just a little bit to get that height. And no bending in the arms, extend them really strongly, pushing away from the hands. We're going to stay here for a full minute. Okay, so some of your knees might be pointing out. Let's try and tuck them in and drop the heels a little bit more. See if you can creep in even closer to the body and get even higher. From this position, we've got 30 seconds left. We're going to go into that high lunge on the other side. I'll show you a higher option. So if you're practicing this salutation routine, you've got two options. Okay, another 10 seconds here. Really work hard, pushing away from the body. Okay, so let's come back into that plank position. I'm going to take my hands back out a bit wider. As I breathe out, that sun's streaming in. Now remember, we've got that heel below the knee. So your high option is to have that leg stretched out really strongly at the back. So before, we had the knee planted. So your high option is to be here with a nice, long, powerful leg. Try and tense it. Breathing. You can take it a step further by pushing in through here and being nice and high. I'm going to stay with you in this position. You've got your other two options. Now my next breath out, I'm going to drop those hips even more, but still putting tension and dropping that heel back at the back. So I'm really getting that leg strong and long. We're here for another 30 seconds, so if you feel like that's getting too tense, bring your arms down or drop that knee. But I'm going to stay up nice and high and have those hands on the knee, chest nice and proud. From this high lunge, we're going to go back into a forward fold. We've got another 10 seconds here. You're doing so well. Hope your body's feeling really awesome. 3, 2, and 1. Plant. Bring the other foot together to the other foot. I'm just going to back a bit so I've got some room. And we're going to stay in that forward fold. So you might feel a little bit more open. So I'm going to straighten my legs a little bit. But I'm making sure that my hips are sticking up, that the bend is coming from here. Hang your arms down. You might even be able to get your palms to the ground. Or you might just be simply here. Wherever you're at, that's fine. I'm going to put my hands just under those toes. Whip those palms. Big long breaths. Straighten the knees a little bit, and that's gonna, we've got another 30 seconds here. It's gonna affect my range a little bit because I'm flexible, but I bet you a lot of you out there are more flexible than me. I'm gonna aim for those ankles. Tuck the head under, tucking it in as strong as possible. We're nearly there. Another 10 seconds. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit deeper with that head. Okay, take a big deep breath in. Bring the arms out to the side and bring them back over the head in our sweep. So I'll face on. So we look nice and strong with our arms leaning back, looking at the head. Take that one slowly, because coming from down to straight up can make you feel a little bit lightheaded. So take your time with it if you need to recalibrate. 10 more seconds here and then we'll finish at mountain. And then we have a child's pose to breathe and restore at the end. Bring it down. Okay, breathing. That was so good. If you need a more challenge, do that salutation through one more time. But it's a great place to start. It's a great way to start your day. Or if you have a moment halfway through the day and you want to restore your energy, it won't take you too long. Okay, so we're going to come to the floor for our last pose. I'm going to do it facing forward so you can see the variation. So with child's pose, we can bring our knees wide. I'll just back a little bit. And knees wide, so wider than our shoulders. And then we creep our hands out in front of us and we drop our head to the ground. Now, you may need a cushion behind your bottom if your knees have got issues, or a little box. But what I want to show you here, staying child's pose here, is a move so we can get a stretch in the lats. So if you just look up now, if you're in child's pose, I want you to just creep your hands around to the side, and so we're going to get a good stretch down through our lats and just sink into it. So there's a lot, I'm pushing a lot of pressure into this hand here, so that I can stretch through here. Let's stay down. We're going to creep around to the other side. I'm going to go side on. So you can see that child's pose with that nice wide knees. Creep your hand around to the other side. And head to touch the ground if you can. Bring the hands back to the middle and just deepen the stretch. I'm creeping my hands out as far away as I can, putting pressure through my palms into the ground. I'm sitting back into my heels and allowing gravity to take place, my body to sink into the ground. Two more nice breaths and you've completed today's Align session. One more breath. And slowly come to seated. Well done. I hope you keep this align practice in your routine. It's so good for your restore. Your mobility will be better, and you'll find that you can get deeper and stronger in our other sessions too. Have an awesome day. Be empowered.